it's pretty much the same story at this point. They're just trying to encourage him to trying to encourage him to come down.
And just to give you a sense of what officers are seeing on the ground, you can see right in the middle of your screen there the suspect from our live camera on the ground as he moves up the roof. We have the roof from both sides. It appears as if he's becoming a little more agitated and moving sort of quickly, as if he is hiding from officers. We know that he has been engaged in conversation with them, but it seems like he is trying to hide behind that chimney and the tree there, Mark.
Yeah, you know, it's hard to know what this guy's intentions are. I mean, there's no doubt that the police have been talking to him, you know, at every turn that he makes. I mean, he goes from the front side of the house to the back side of the house. Wherever he turns, police officers are on the ground, and they're all encouraging him to come down. They're giving him the opportunity to come down by placing ladders in strategic areas here. You know, having said that, though, there are also officers, we've seen officers with guns drawn facing the suspect, and so maybe that, you know, is a fear for this guy, but we don't know what's going on in this guy's head. So officers are just certainly hoping to bring this to a peaceful conclusion. As of yet, that has not been the case. In fact, you see him on the roof there, and you know, that's a pretty steep pitch roof there, and so he's hanging on as best he can. So hopefully, you know, he will come down on his own, and he'll come down safely.
And we should tell you that we just heard from our Eric Spillman, who is en route on the ground, and he tells us that he was just passed by a SWAT vehicle or two. We know that SWAT has been called to the scene, obviously trained to deal with just this kind of individual in a specialized sort of a way. So while these officers on the ground are the frontline troops, if you will, who've been trying to coax this person down using their skills as officers, you now have the next level of officers who are trained in dealing with this kind of suspect, who will now deploy in some fashion. You would imagine that there's going to be a negotiator involved with the SWAT as the backup is one way to describe it, but tactically be there to react to whatever this suspect does. But Mark, you're absolutely right. We left the scene about a half an hour ago, and it looks, at least from your picture, like things haven't changed very much.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't appear so, but you know, in fact, if the SWAT team has been called out and this has been escalated to that point, there will likely be some sort of resolution sooner than later. But just kind of looking down on the scene there, I don't see any SWAT vehicles in place as of yet. But over the course of the next few minutes, I'll see if I can spot that for you. But in the meantime, yeah, the suspect just sitting on the roof there and moving from spot to spot. So again, we don't know what's going through his mind, but it looks like he's making an effort to go down to the edge of the roof line there, but with no intent to come down as of yet. So we'll see, you know, how this pans out here. You know, as we come around to the side here, we'll see. You know, I can tell you that police officers are, you know, literally have this building and the next one surrounded. So although out of our view right now, we do know that police officers are just below them. So hopefully hopefully they can bring this to a peaceful conclusion. And in fact, if the SWAT team is called out to the scene, this you know, will be escalated to that sort of a call out, and hopefully they will be able to bring this to a peaceful close.
And we can tell you that certainly that's what the officers have been doing here. They've used a great deal of restraint. Of course, they could have gone up that ladder to go after him. They haven't done that. They've, in fact, put that ladder. We watched them as they put the ladder in place to invite this suspect to come down the ladder. He has declined to do so for more than a half an hour, close to an hour, actually. And as we've said, officers have told us here at KTLA that this suspect has said to them, if I could get to my gun, I would kill all of you. The officers obviously very concerned about someone who would make a statement like that, and the fact that they, you know, they don't know what's underneath that that shirt of his. You know, one of the things that they might ask him to do at some point, in addition to showing his hands, would be to literally lift up that shirt to show them that he doesn't have a weapon of any kind underneath. And now we see him moving to the other house.
Yeah, you know what, having made a statement like that, that is certainly going to change the officers' stance and how they approach this suspect here. They are going to take a guarded approach. They are going to not take any unnecessary risks as far as, you know, putting that ladder in front of that home there. You know, I kind of doubt that the officers are going to make an attempt to climb up there. Not only it puts them at great exposure to, to the suspect. And not only that, I mean, it's just a steep pitch roof. I mean, it's a very unstable situation, and they want to be able to, do the best they can to put themselves in the best position to be able to take this guy into custody. But for the meantime, it seems like their best hope at this point is for him to come down on his own. But again, he has refused to do so as of yet. And I'm going to slide Sky 5 just a little bit north so we can get a glimpse of him. But yeah, it seems up to this point he is refusing. Even though that is the resolution that would work best, and that is if he came down on his own.
And as most of our viewers know, as Mark is reporting for us, he's also flying that helicopter, so he's talking to air traffic control and talking to what has become increasingly crowded airspace. Mark was the first over the scene by himself for a while. He was then joined by an LAPD airship and now other media helicopters. We are providing the live coverage for you right now, and we'll continue to do so. But this suspect, he has at times appeared to be acting in a bizarre fashion. Earlier at one point we saw him smoking. He seemed to engage the officers. He has put his hands up as if he was about to surrender, put his hands on top of his head as if he was about to surrender, walked toward the officers who were speaking to him from the ground, and then he would scamper away in the other direction. He has gone back and forth between these two homes in the 800 block of Malcolm, which is about a block past Hillgard and LeConte. And if you're familiar with that Westwood neighborhood, it's to the southeast of the UCLA campus. He has been in this neighborhood on top of these two homes, just hopping back and forth. We have seen it at points throughout this ordeal, officers jumping onto the rooftop, armed obviously and ready to take action. And as Mark was saying, we don't know if they're there right now. We normally wouldn't have shown you that sort of a thing because we don't show officers and their tactics in a barricade situation for fear that the suspect might have access to a television. But in this case, he obviously has access to no media, and we feel comfortable showing you what's happening here, this suspect's location and what officers are doing.
Yeah, that's right. You know what, Frank? It's definitely our policy not to give away officer positions, especially in a tactical situation when they have a home surrounded, especially in a situation like this. But again, the suspect does not appear to have a cell phone, so he's not talking to anyone. He doesn't have a TV, obviously, so he's not watching our feed. So, we feel like it is safe, at this point to show the activity going on around the home here. So, if there is something that takes place, we will always pull to a wide shot, but we just don't want to show anything, negative, but we do want to bring you this coverage here. But again, it goes on, and so we will stay overhead and bring you these images as best we can. We were the first to do that this morning at the end of this pursuit termination, and we will continue to do that until this resolution.
And Mark, I don't know how tight you can get in if this is as far as you can push in, but this is the first. He now appears to be lying down. And I don't know if he's going to take a nap here on the roof or if he's just having a little rest. But among the various bizarre behaviors we've witnessed from this suspect, he's now having a lie down.
Yeah, you know what? It looks like he's lying down there. Maybe he's just taking a break, or maybe he's just taking a lower position along the roof line so that maybe to avoid detection by the LAPD officers there. I don't know. But, it's hard to know. He may have suffered some sort of an injury. So many options to think about here, but I don't know what his situation is right now, but he may be just getting a rest. I mean, he's been on this rooftop and, on these two rooftops here for over an hour, and at some point he's going to tire, and maybe this is kind of the culmination of that. He just needs a little bit of a break, but I dare say that maybe it is also a possibility that he is just kind of lying low along the roof line here so as to avoid, being seen by the officers, but that is just, just a guess on my part.
Yeah, and this is just to get the geography straight here. There are the two homes here on the 800 block of Malcolm, and this is really the spot where he has sort of hopped back and forth, right?
Yeah, he's kind of been hunkering down here between the two homes there. You'll see the home kind of on the bottom of your screen there. He'll be along that roof line for a little bit, then he'll hop to the other roof. But it just seems like there's so much exposure on that roof to the top of the screen there, and so he's kind of hunkered down right on that mid-level, that split-level roof there, right next to that. It looks like chimney, and well, there he goes again to the front of the house, and we know that there are a couple of windows that are right there just to kind of his left, and I'm going to maneuver Sky 5 so we can actually get more of a picture here, but we know there are a couple of windows there. He was spotted earlier looking in those windows. Hopefully he doesn't have any intentions of going into the house or entering the house. That would certainly pose some more complications for the police department as they try and deal with this, but so far that doesn't appear to be his intention here. He's just kind of walking along the roof line, and let's hope it stays that way. I mean, again, we don't want him to enter the house because that will definitely pose new problems for the LAPD as they try and work with this suspect here. But some erratic behavior. We've seen him throwing his hands up. We've seen him, come close to the edge of the roof line there, seemingly with the intent to give up as he discusses his situation with the officers there. But at the very last moment, he'll back off. He'll scamper up the roof, and this is kind of what we're seeing here at this point. So he's just kind of walking around the roof lines here and just kind of making his way around and, still refusing to come down.
And it's possible, Mark, you mentioned that you don't want this suspect inside the home. It is possible that the LAPD officers have moved inside the home themselves, and in fact, if he came in, that they would be able to better control the situation and arrest him right then. We don't know that one way or the other, but certainly when you have him out here on the rooftop, he is visible to the officers, and they can keep eyes on him. You mentioned earlier that there was an LAPD airship overhead. I assume that's still the case.
Yeah, LAPD airship is still overhead, and there was quite a large police presence here. They, have basically a small perimeter set up around this block, and yeah, with the full intention of getting this guy down at some point. But to this moment, anyways, he is still refusing to come down. And but yes, there is an airship overhead. He's doing wide orbits around the location, possibly to kind of keep the noise levels down so that negotiators can talk to this guy. But as we move around to the north side here, he comes into the picture there slightly, and yeah, they are trying to negotiate to get this guy down. But at this point, he's just kind of refusing, and just you see him just kind of walking back and forth, spinning around in circles, just kind of wondering what his next move is going to be.
And what's frightening, and here he goes again to the other home. He's made that jump once again, and in a moment, if we take the ground shot, we should be able to see him once again right near that tree and the chimney. Although now he is secreting himself inside that tree line there, with the chimney right behind.